Oh. Never had a successful limitless. Alright, I give up. Alright, I'm trying to go live on Twitch too, but my OBS crashed and now my multi-viewer plugin is gone. And I don't remember how I get it in again, and I literally do not have the time to set that up now. I think we just have to do it Twitchless today. That's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Is it working for everyone else? OBS just took a fat dump on me. So yeah, good morning everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. I think everything is good on the YouTube side. It's just I literally cannot get the Twitch to work now. Because the OBS decided to remove all my plugins. So that's great. Sick. Love that. Well, I guess we're doing Twitchless today, and I have to fix it until next week. Unfortunate. All right, let me tweet out that we are live while everyone gets in here. What's up for everyone? Let's see. It's been a while. Eric is here. Welcome. Metallica says all good. Michael, good morning. Triple McLaren. Yeah, they look pretty good, huh? I'm good. 1, 2, 3. I'm good. A bit killed from all the work I've had. Excited. I am excited for the day. I have no idea what I'm doing, which is always exciting, right? All right. Deadline, let's see, hashtag Austria. One day I will have all the tweets ready to go, so that I could just post them when I go live, and I will have them, but you know, today's not the day. Austrian GP deadline stream is live now. 3x McLaren is back. AM ideas. Come ask your questions here. Boom. Perfect. Alright, let me look at chat now. How's everyone doing? Triple Sauber? Probably not. Ferrari or Mercedes? Probably Mercedes, I'm gonna be honest. What's up? What's up is that I have no idea what we're doing. Like, for one, literally my entire setup just crashed. Literally as I was about to press live. Press to go live. So that's great. But, other than that, I have no idea what I'm doing on the F1 fantasy side. A lot of things to discuss, a lot of things we're going to look at. I thought we should maybe start, actually, with going to F1 Fantasy Tools. And look at some simulations there. After Canada, I want to sell Norris so bad, but I don't know. I don't think you must sell Norris. I made an entire video about it, that, like, there are options to sell Norris, but he's definitely not a must-sell. Kick build to boost budget, but Ferrari looked strong in FP3. Yeah, Ferrari looked decent in FP3, to be fair. They were really bad yesterday, but... definitely use FF if Verstappen takes pole. That would make sense, but, I mean, Austria is also a decent track for overtakes, right? So, I don't know if it's the best final fix available. Is it worth a transfer that could be used for Silverstone to move to Ferrari to Mercedes? I'm considering it, right? But, Ferrari were better in FP3. I don't think they're must-sells. Gasly over Colapinto and Lawson? Yes. Everything over Lawson currently. Let's look at some simulations, shall we? Let's see. Yeah, definitely Gasly over all of them. Aston Martin looked really good in budgets yesterday. Alright, well, whoops, I need to log in. Let me just do that. Alright, there we go. So, according to the FP2, this is FP2 Sims, yes? Yeah, FP2 Sims. They want me to switch to Antonelli already, which is really cool. 80% chance of rain tomorrow. If I'm not wrong, think of using Verstappen, I might consider no negative. What do you think? I'm very adamant that no negative should be used in sprint weekends, even when it rains in a regular weekend. So I would have to unfortunately disagree on the no negative take. I think no negative should be used in probably Spa or Brazil if you still have it. Sainz or Gasly? It depends on your budget. I think Sainz is the better straight-up option, or straight-up selection, right? But Gasly's cheap price gives you more flexibility to move to premium drivers sooner, I suppose. How many negative points are you willing to pay in Silverstone for double constructed double premium driver in Silverstone? Never more than -20. And the -20 would have to make sense. I think a -10 is definitely okay. -20 could be good. I would never do a -30. If you're doing a -30, you're playing the game wrong. I think that's pretty safe, you know, without going into specifics, right? I think that's a safe baseline. Like, if you ever do a -20, it has to be really worth it. But I'm never completely ruling out a -20. A -10 could be a bit, you know, you should still be careful with them. You still have to consider them, but it's not like a must avoid or whatever. -30, never do that. Team 6 on the save you have up at the moment. Tsunoda's brave. Let's bring up the budget builder here. Though I guess Tsunoda is actually looking decent, huh? Well, not awful, I suppose. 13 points? Is he getting 25 points? I don't think so. I don't think I'm going for Tsunoda teams, if I'm honest. How's the music, by the way? Is the music level decent, or should I raise it or lower it? Let me know. Again, all my settings just got wiped a minute before I went live, so it's kind of awkward. Shall I keep Norris or get Piastri? That's the question everyone's going to ask today, huh? Listen, Norris looks good, man. What can I say? But he always does this. I think Norris... Alright, this is my take on Norris. Norris is better at driving the car alone than almost anyone on the grid. Now, not everyone, not like Max Verstappen, obviously, but I would say, like, just in terms of driving the car, managing the tires, stuff like that, Norris is probably top 5 on the grid. But when it comes to, like, the actual racecraft, I suppose, when he's in high-pressure situations, either like Q3 in quali if he messed up in the first run, or in a key overtaking moment on the track, he is not as good as Piastri. But you see that, like, even last week, yes, Piastri was attacking Antonelli, couldn't get past, so he used up some tires. But, like, when Norris and Piastri are both in clean air, Norris is faster, just straight up. Yeah, Norris is the captain of bottling. I don't even say he's the captain of bottling it. He's just... I guess that is the captain of bottling, huh? Yeah, I suppose. Didn't get notification that the stream started? Unlucky. Maybe it's because it's later, so maybe you got like a half notification that didn't send through at 2, but I was a bit late to the stream because my OBS and everything crashed. I'm also not live on Twitch. I'm really sorry about that if anyone wants to be on Twitch, but yeah, I'll have to get that fixed for next stream, for next week. Thank you for being here, though. Ferrari or Mercedes? I think I prefer Mercedes. Simply because I think Mercedes teams will be stronger in a bit. But yes, I do think I don't think you're selling Piastri to Norris. The only way that, like, if you already have Norris, you might consider keeping him. I don't think you buy Norris this week. Hi, buddy. Hope you're well. I am well. Thank you so much, Josh. Mercedes or Ferrari to join McLaren? This is gonna be the question, the second question that I'll get all day. I think it's fine to keep Ferrari, but if you can, I wouldn't do a -10 to switch. But if you can do it for free, I would probably do the switch to Mercedes, because I do think, like, I could already do McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Antonelli, right? I don't think I'm doing Antonelli because Antonelli is dropping in price. But, like, I might want to do a team like this for Silverstone, right? So, by doing the Ferrari to Mercedes move this week, I sort of get ahead of the curve a bit. Ocon or Sainz? Definitely Sainz. Kick or Aston? Definitely Aston. 100% Aston. Aston is super cheap as well, no? It's 8.9. Yeah, I think if you're buying a cheap constructor this week, it's definitely Aston. It was fun seeing you in Axel Oman's league. Are you there as well? Are you at the top of it, Oliver? I'm actually going to see them when they come to Uppsala in August. I am a Eurovision fan at heart. But yeah, I posted about the league as well, Oliver. I posted about everyone joining it to get some competitive people in it when they were. Oh, you're number 2 in the league? Damn, dude, I need to catch you then before I go to the concert. I wanna write a sign saying that I'm top of your F1 fantasy league. So Oliver, unfortunately, I need you to start throwing. Okay, can you like go and buy, I don't know, Alpine or something? Anyway, yeah, I don't think I'm doing any of this. Who is first? Oh, I haven't checked actually. Ba-ding. Okay, Windows security, I don't care. Bortoleto for Lawson and Roll, transfer or swap Ferrari for Merc and Sainz. I mean, you definitely need to sell Lawson. I don't think it's. I think selling Lawson is more important than switching Ferrari to Mercedes. Why Mercedes over Ferrari? Ferrari looked better in practice. Ferrari looked really bad yesterday. They look better today, sure. But since Ferrari are so expensive, we're getting to the point now where soon we can afford like McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Russell teams. Antonelli I can already afford basically a 2 premium lineup with Piastri, Antonelli, with Mercedes in there. So I think a lot of people are going to switch to Mercedes anyway in the coming weeks just to be able to afford the 2 premium, the 2-2 lineup that I've talked about for so long. So therefore, I do think that like switching to Mercedes is completely fine. Though I don't think it's like top of priority, which is what Owen talked about, right? Or no, what Avail talked about, right? I think it's more important to sell Lawson than it is to swap Ferrari and Mercedes, for sure. Most of the top guys in Access League had Norris and Canada, so not unlikely that you might be top soon. We'll see. Keeping Ferrari would be differential. I don't think it was differential. I think it's again going to be another one of those like 50-50 splits, I'm pretty sure. But I'm considering doing it. Ocon or Stroll? I think I prefer Stroll. But it's close. Actually, no, because Stroll is definitely dropping in price, yeah? Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he still has the DNF. Yeah, I prefer Ocon over Stroll. I forgot that Stroll had the DNF. Is Gasly a good pick for this weekend? I think yes, but every time I say that Gasly's a good pick, he DNFs. Gasly was Bertoletto, Gasly, he's gonna DNF. That's another one in the. I think every time I say that Gasly's good, I have to put. It's like a swear jar. I have to put a dollar in it. Haas and Haas drivers toxic this weekend. Don't know what you mean by that, Tata. Is it worth swapping Lawson with Alonso for a -10? Usually I say no to swapping cheap drivers for a -10, but why can't you just do that anyway? Like, what are your other moves, Hitansh? Because that seems like the super obvious move that everyone should make as their first transfer. For point purposes, though, who do you think scores this more this week? Mercedes, Ferrari? I think it's 50-50. Like, it's straight up in the air. I have no idea. Gasly's had 2 good races and DNF this whole season, just baiting fantasy. Yup. Ocon versus Sainz? I prefer Sainz. By quite some margin. I think there's a quite big drop-off, actually, between Sainz and Ocon. Obviously, Sainz is a bit more expensive, but I think it's fine. Alright, let's actually tinker a bit. So, I have 3 free transfers. Can you see this here on the screen? I think you can, yeah. So, I have 3 free transfers. And the main thing is that, like, Lawson has to go. Lawson is going to Alonso. I think everyone should have Hulkenberg and Alonso in their teams, unless you like truly don't care about budget and just want to be differential. But like, if you don't have Hulkenberg and Alonso in your team, what are you doing at this point? Budget is still important. They look really good for points as well. It's a complete no-brainer. People were super excited to buy Alonso at the start of the season when he cost 9 million, and now it's 5.1 million, and people are like, hey, maybe I want to be differential. No, just buy him. Like, actually just straight up buy Alonso. It doesn't matter. I'm also down to sell Colapinto to either Gasly or Sainz. If I go Ferrari down to Mercedes, I'm definitely getting Sainz over Gasly. But if I keep Ferrari and save a transfer, I might go Gasly instead of Sainz. So these are my potential moves. This is what I'm thinking about. It's either this, or it's keep Ferrari and go Gasly here. And the reason I would go Gasly instead of Sainz here is because I want the budget to have more flexibility to get Kimi Antonelli next week in Silverstone. Because I do think I want to get either Kimi Antonelli or Russell, depending on what budget I'm on. And if I go for Sainz, that's going to cost too much to do. Because then, right, say I do the Mercedes option, right? I do this, and I do this. Then next week, I will have 2 free transfers in Silverstone. I could do Sainz out, and Hadjar or Hulkenberg out. I think we'll do Hulkenberg now because he's the most expensive one. I could not go to a Russell. Actually, no, I'm not going to be able to afford that, huh? Yikes. Do I have to go for Gasly here on either strategy? Now that I think about it, maybe. Yeah, because then, so I do this for 3 free transfers. Then next week I have 2 transfers, and I do Hulkenberg and Hadjar out, my 2 most expensive cheap drivers, and do Kimi Antonelli, and then I should have 4.5 million to get Lawson or Bortoletto in. I think that's the play, if I'm honest. I think that's the play. I think I'm actually going Gasly over Sainz here. Does that make sense? Well, I can't just transfer to Sainz because then I can't afford. I won't have enough budgets. That's the thing. Like, if I go for Sainz over Gasly, because I have to sell Hadjar, I can't sell Gasly. This would be my Silverstone team with Bortoletto in there, and I think I would be able to, or Lawson, but preferably Bortoletto. Like, this team looks really good in Silverstone. We agree, yeah. But yeah, the thing is, I can't do the Sainz version, I don't think. Any interest in Max over Piastri? Not really. I mean, sure, it might rain tomorrow, and Max is always good, but yeah, it's just not really the vibe for me. With 4 million, can I afford the... wait, what's my budget after the transfers that I want to do? I would imagine it's quite high. We do Alonso, and we do Gasly. I have 8.4 million, so yeah, I could final fix to get Max Verstappen if he's on pole. Kimi will also drop in price in this week and easier to buy for Silverstone. You are 100% correct, Miller World. Bortoletto might rise from practice results, sure, but what Miller World just said is that we have some price droppers as well, and like Kimi Antonelli, right? Yeah, so Kimi's gonna drop in price. I can get Kimi Merteam this week. Should I go for it? No, I don't think so, because literally what Miller just said, like, Kimi Antonelli is gonna drop in price this week, so next week is gonna be way easier to afford. But yeah, I don't really have any interest in doing Piastri to Max now, because Max needs to score pretty decently to increase in price. 0.3, meaning I'm losing budget on him, first of all. And second of all, like, if Max looks that good, I can just final fix him in. So I think that's I don't think that's what I think that's what I'm doing. All right, but do you guys agree with me? I know, like, getting Sainz is more exciting than getting Gasly, but in terms of, like, my team and the structure, if I go Gasly, I can, without taking points hit, get to the McLaren Kimi Antonelli team next week. I think that's worth it. No, On my richer teams, I can probably just go for Sainz, but I want the option to go for the Kimi version. Any consideration for Aston Martin plus Verstappen? Sainz was nowhere in practice. I definitely have Aston Martin considerations, but I'm just not switching to that. Sainz doesn't look that good anyway. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, would love to see a team like that by Silverstone. I really want to reach that team for Silverstone, if I'm honest. Like, that sounds really, really enticing. Hadjar or Bortoletto better to keep? Hadjar, but it also depends if you're in the same situation here where you need to sell someone to, you know... It depends on what you're going to do, like, in future weeks. I can't believe Yuki's just off the board in this conversation between Gasly and Sainz. He's too expensive. That's the thing, like... Like, I can afford him here, sure, but, like, he's gonna probably drop in price, or at least not increase 0.6, right? Do we think he gets 25 points? I don't see him getting 25 points. He maybe gets 15. I think it's fine. Yeah, Tsunoda's gonna... Or, like, I don't think Tsunoda's gonna drop. I think Tsunoda's gonna increase 0.2. I think Tsunoda's gonna increase 0.2. But it's not... That's not worth it, because that puts me in the same boat where I have to make 3 transfers to get the Kimi Antonelli team next week. So... Like, I see why Tsunoda is an option, but I just don't think he is for me. Seems like we should stay on Ferrari. Not necessarily. Every time I pick Gasly in DNFs, I know that, I mean, every time I say, buy Gasly, he's a good option, he DNFs, but that's just... I think I'm leaning towards this. This gives me final fix flexibility for Piastri this week, and... It gives me a super easy route to Kimi Antonelli next week, if I want it, for 2 free transfers. Like, just this team this week, and then in Silverstone, I sell Nico and Hadjar for the Kimi Antonelli, who's dropped in price, plus one of the 4.5s, which would be either Bortoletto or Lawson or Colapinto, right? Whoever I can afford. I could definitely afford Lawson. Lawson's definitely dropping to 4.5. And Bortoletto is probably increasing in price by 0.2, but I think I could maybe afford that anyway. Especially with Kimi Antonelli drop. I'm hoping Kimi Antonelli drops 0.6, but I'm suspecting that, like, once you reach A tier, you can't actually go down again. That's my suspicion. But we'll just have to wait to see. 18.5 million seems like such a random number. Bortoletto over Gasly? No, I prefer Gasly. Like, Gasly is almost guaranteed to increase in price. He's like straight up the 3rd best option behind Hülkenberg and Alonso. Obviously not in the same stratosphere, but again, that's like the 5th time I talk well about Gasly, so he's gonna DNF for sure. If I use wildcard this week, do I have 3 free transfers next week? No. After you wildcard, you have 2 free transfers. Quiet Lurker, if I knock on wood every time I talk about Gasly, I'm actually going to break my desk. So I'm just not going to do that. Gasly's a DNF risk after we pick him. Yup. That's just how it goes. Didn't you stick with Gasly and DNF you 2 times in a row? Yes, I did do that last year. So there was the first time ever my tip of the week failed. Like, miserably. Because my pick of the my tip of the week was buy Gasly because there's a 60 place grid penalty. And then he just drove in after the formation lap and DNF'd. And then I kept him for the week after because I was like, oh, he has a new engine. And then he DNF'd. And then I didn't own him again for the rest of the season. Which was a mistake because he was really good at the end of the season. But earlier this year, I also said Gasly's a good option this week. A lot of people went to Gasly and he DNF'd. I luckily didn't do that time. Yeah, I did not start and DNF. Yeah, exactly. What do you think of keeping Norris and Ferrari? I think it's totally fine. I mean, it's a completely reasonable move. Buy Gasly is now embedded in my brain forever. I know, I'm never going to live that down. But it was the first time I properly bombed a tip of the week. I did bomb tip of the week last week, to be fair. But that's just because Norris bottled it. If you had a wildcard this week and could set a team of your choice, what would you pick? It depends on if you have Limitless or not. I think the Aston Martin teams look really interesting, but realistically, I would probably just pick something like this, no? I think this team looks really good. Oh, well, no, sorry. Not this, but the one I was considering. I think, like, these 5 are the must-have options. Well, I guess you could, like, if you have Norris here, you don't need to have Piastri, right? I suppose these 4 are the must-have options. I think if you're on a wild card, like, every team should have these. Maybe you could actually go without Hadjar, now that I think about it. Yeah, I suppose you don't need Hadjar if you're wildcarding. I don't think, like, Hadjar is not a priority sell, but if you're wildcarding, you don't have to buy him. So I guess it's only really these 3 that are must-haves. Like, if you're wildcarding and you don't have either of, like, if you don't have all 3 of these assets, your wildcard is a mistake. And I would actually straight up say that. Because I do think you could build a wildcard without Hadjar. It's just that everyone has Hadjar, and no one is selling Hadjar because you don't have to sell Hadjar. We have other things we have to sell. Thoughts on picking Red Bull? I don't know if it's worth the transfer because I would probably want to get rid of them relatively quickly. Merc seems to be really bad in high-speed corners, therefore double Merc in Silverstone doesn't sound that exciting. You're onto something there, Oliver, for sure. But the thing is, like, if I go for the team that I've talked about so far this stream, and I go to Mercedes, yeah? And let's bring the boys back. If I go for this team, I have 8.4 million in the back. I'm super flexible. It means I could easily switch to the double Mercedes lineup if I want to. Right? This plus a 4.5. Because I'm going to have the budget for that. Or I can actually, you know, switch to any other team I want with 2 transfers. Sounds like the tip of the week. Yep. Does wildcard reverse a -10 of accepted already this weekend? Yes, it does. Gasly either DNF or hits negative points once every 3 races. Yep. Yeah, Gasly is super sketchy, but yeah. The thing is with Gasly is that he's so much more flexible from my team than what Sainz is, and also again, like, Williams don't look great, right? Best option to set up for Limitless next race, Aston Martin. I think if you're setting up, okay, I'm not gonna talk about my team here. Actually, okay, you know what we're gonna do? Because I have this team, right? This is my second team. It's the only team that I've not Limitless on. This was my team last week. You know, I had Red Bull, whatever. We don't have to talk about it. I'm going to set this team up with 3 free transfers to Limitless, either in Spa or in Hungary. So I'm actually going to do my 3 transfers on this team now because I'm going to do the Aston Martin lineup here. So I'm going to use my 3 transfers to move to a Piastri-Russell lineup with Aston Martin. We're going to keep Hulkenberg, we're going to keep Hadjar, and we're going to get Alonso. So this is going to be my team on my second team that hasn't Limitless yet. I think if you want to set your Limitless up, I think it's something like this. Aston Martin, reminder, looks totally fine for budget increase. They just didn't increase that much last time because they had the Stroll DNF, right? So what points and budget are you on? I can show that in a second. So I'm actually going to do the transfers now because I do want to differentiate my strategies anyway, and this team has not used a single chip so far this season. My plan with this team, my second team on my account, was always to save all my chips to the second half of the season. So I've not used a single chip on this this team yet. It's like 100k or something like that. It's not in a fantastic spot, but it could come good. So I'm going to do this team on my second team. Confirm. Cool. My third team I'm not touching at all. I don't care about it anymore. But yeah, this is gonna be my second team. Now the question was, what points and budget are you on? So on my main team, I am on, I think it's my second richest team at 116.1 million. Actually, budget check in chat. I always love doing this. Let's see some budget checks. What's everyone's budget? All you do is you go to your team, you remove all the assets, and then you post in chat what your budget is. 341 people in chat, by the way, and only 108 likes is pretty tragic. Yet 85% have said yes on the like on the stream. 189 votes. Quick maths show that, like, 190 votes, 84% of that is... I can't do mental maths. Let's see. Let me just bring up my calculator real quick. So 0.8 4 times 196 votes. I should have 164 likes on the stream right now because there's like 40 people who have voted in the poll and not pressed likes because they're liars, okay? So I caught you guys. Let's look at some numbers. Some budgets. Okay, what do we have? That's a lot of numbers. 160.8, 116, 116.3, 115. Yeah, it seems like 115, 116 seems like the average. 117.5 is pretty rich. 17.9, woof. 113.3, you're poor. You're just below. You're below average, Silent. You're gonna be fine. 114, you need a bank loan. I think 114 is fine. If you're below 110, I think you need to worry a bit. Stager at 110 is gonna have a rough end of season, but I'm gonna make a specific video for low budget teams after Silverstone, so stay tuned for that. 118.3 on my team 2. Why the sad face? On your team 2 is fine, like 118.3 is really good. 116.6 with all chips remaining. Congrats, that's really good. Mercedes or Ferrari? That is the question, my friend. That is the question. The answer is, I've talked about it a bit, but I wouldn't... It's not a must transfer to switch between either of them, but if you want to set up for a 2-2 team, it's probably Mercedes. Ryan, did you watch FP3? Why is Sonoda a must in simulations? I don't actually know why Sonoda is a must in simulations, but he's not a must for my team, that's for sure. Yeah, but my budget is 116. Let's look at the points, right? So, for those of you who haven't done that before, you just go here. My current overall rank on my Team 1 is 8,769th in the world. And my Team 2, that hasn't used a single chip, is unfortunately only 141,000, but maybe we can get something back. And this, I'm just trolling. I've taken like 1,000,000 points hits just for fun. No negative doesn't cancel out transfer minor 10s, that's correct? Yes, that's correct. No negatives only remove negative scores from categories on the assets themselves. Who would be a good budget building constructor for this weekend? Aston Martin. It's like the only option. So that's why on this team, on my team 2, I'm doing Aston Martin this week. Top 1k, but I'm 114.8. I'm behind the 8 ball. Not necessarily. You're just gonna. I mean, you're gonna be fine. I mean, you're top 1k. Like you're super fine. Tier list, please. We're gonna do a tier list. I promise. We always do a tier list. All right. Still don't know what to do with this. What I should do actually is, for one, change the music, because the music has been the same for like 20 minutes now and I'm losing my mind. What I should do is we should go into incognito and open here we go. Fantasy. Love your streams before quality. Thank you so much, man. It's much appreciated. I love doing these. Like I specifically like take half days at work. I always work Saturdays to come home and do this. It's a bit hectic with the European season, but it's fine. We do it for the grind. All right, so this is my richest team on the second account that I started after. It's 117.7 million. What was that like? How many people were above that in chat? I don't think that many. 118 from Ben Wakem or Ben Waukee. Ben Wakem, yeah, Ben Wakem probably. We had Grant is just below that at 117.6. Yeah, not Elvis is 118.9. Yeah, but not many people were richer than this. Daniel was at 117.9. So this is definitely like one of the richer teams out there. And this team went for Norris last week, so have not decided what to do with this yet. We only have 2 free transfers on this. What would I do in this situation actually? Like I should probably discuss this. What's for fika today? A chokladboll. And actually a kardemumma bulle. I did have a kardemumma bulle. We need to get Alonso on this team. Do I sell Norris? Dude, you always eat that for vegan. No, last time it was a Karlsbader bulle. You can't get me with that. Last time, I specifically remember it was a Karlsbader bulle. This time it was a kardemumma bulle, okay? That's 2 very different things. I think this team is just keeping Norris, if I'm honest. I'll keep asking. Nice. I'll look for it. So don't try it on me. Alright, I think this team honestly saves a transfer. And just keeps Ferrari and Norris. No? Just sell either Colapinto or Bortoleto. Probably Colapinto to Alonso. Call it a day. Just do this. Do we sell Ferrari for Mercedes? I think you can do that for sure. I'm probably doing that on my other team. Or my main team, I suppose. But I think on this team, like, Norris looks good. Ferrari don't look that bad. I think this team just sticks with, like, just makes one move and saves the transfer. It's also already, like, quite rich, so I don't need to rush budget on this team. Better to limitless in Silverstone or Spa? I think it's better to limitless in Hungary, if I'm honest, but the reason why you don't limitless in Silverstone is because it's just before a sprint weekend, so you would rather, like, keep the limitless to check the sprint qualifying in the sprint weekend in Spa and see if Spa looks like a good time to use the limitless. And if Spa doesn't look good for limitless, then you limitless in Hungary. Triple McLaren with 3x. Not you always 3x in a sprint weekend, so no. Aston is not better than Sauber for budget increase, but like I think Aston is better for points just overall, right? And it's not like Aston is not gonna increase in price. Like Kik could have a double DNF and still increase 0.6 million, whereas like Aston Martin still needs to score points, but it's probably fine. Thoughts on Tsunoda? I think Tsunoda looks good for points, but I don't think he looks 25 point good. I think he looks 15 to 20 point good. And if he scores 15 to 20 points, sure, that's fantastic. But he makes it really difficult to maneuver your teams around because he's so expensive. It's kind of like the Albon problem, right? They're very similar price points. We have to consider Tsunoda and Albon the same, right? You can have him for sure, but it really makes it difficult when you want to move your team around to different builds in the coming weekends, because I feel like we're going to make large overhaul changes to our teams in the future. So for me, Tsunoda's in the void. Like if Tsunoda was needed 13 points for +6 instead of a +2 or plus 0.2 or a plus 0.6, I think I would be more inclined. But right now I'm not interested in Tsunoda, I don't think. Yeah, I agree, James Wood. On this team, I think I'd just keep keeping Norris on this exact team right here. And I did speak about that in my Norris video too, that like keeping Norris is totally fine, keeping Ferrari is totally fine. As long as you have Hülkenberg and Alonso and McLaren, I mean you're fine, really. I think Bortoleto's gonna make it to Q3. That's a big shout, Eric. Better stay and watch the qualifying with me. I'll do the watch along on YouTube today. I'm not live on Twitch. I'm always supposed to be live both on Twitch and YouTube, but I actually my stream setup crashed literally a minute before I went live. So and I lost all my setups, so I couldn't click multi-stream. Who to sell Lawson to? I have Alonso, Hulk, and Hadjar. Bortoleto, Gasly, or Sainz. I prefer Gasly probably. But you could go for either of those, Nixie. Double Sauber kind of risky in my opinion. Sure, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think triple Sauber is a bit too much, maybe. Yeah, okay, I think I'm doing this on this team. I think I'm keeping Norris here. I committed to that last week. Let's just stick with it. I'm already quite rich on this team, so I don't need to push the budget that much further. So I'm going to do this as my one transfer this week on my rich team. On this team, then, we have... I mean, this team is not as well off. 3 free transfers. Do I have my Limitless here? I do have my Limitless here. Alright, let's actually do a Limitless preparation play here as well and go for Aston Martin. Lawson has to go. Something like this. How about your main team? We're going to talk about that. I'm just making sure I have done the transfers on all the teams. Alright, that's that done. Alright, so, this is my main team. This is what I had. I'm thinking about doing this. Mercedes. Actually, do I have to do the Mercedes transfer now? Run through F1 Predict. Oh yeah, we haven't done F1 Predict. Shoot. I'll do that just after this. I'm gonna finish my thought on the Mercedes Ferrari transfer. So if the plan is to just go for Gasly anyway, even if I get Mercedes, right? Then should I even do the Ferrari to Mercedes move this week, or should I save the transfer? Do you understand what I mean? So I do this. Just these 2 transfer this week. I suppose it makes me... I can't... Wait, I have exactly 4 million. I could still final fix Max Verstappen. That's actually big, yeah? I can't handle another Gasly DNF. I think I'm committed to buying Gasly at this point, if I'm honest. And if he DNFs, I mean, the curse is just real, right? Yeah, I suppose I could just do this and not sell Ferrari to Mercedes if I don't want to. I'm increasingly leaning towards actually keeping Ferrari. Colapinto to Gasly or save 1 transfer. I like saving transfers if I'm honest, but it's kind of whatever. I suppose it's not really whenever. I think Gasly's probably going to get 5 points. I think I've decided though. I like Sainz does not interest me. He hasn't looked great so far this weekend. So I think I'm getting Gasly and I'm definitely getting Alonso, right? And it's definitely for those 2 assets. I might as well just lock in these 2 transfers now and then decide later on in the stream if I'm doing Ferrari to Mercedes. Because the only thing doing Ferrari to Mercedes does to me this week is that it allows me to final fix Lando if I want to. And if I think Mercedes are going to outscore Ferrari. Gasly will DNF 100%. Please stop, alright? Surely not. It can't happen for the 5th time. This is tough, man. I think I've locked in on going Gasly and Alonso, though. As unfortunate as me buying Gasly is, I think I'm just locked into doing that. Yikes. What chips have you used at this time of the season? So, on my main team, I have used 3 chips. I've used Limitless, Wildcard, and No Negative. Still thinking how to change Piastri, Norris, Hadjar, Hulk. That's a full team. I put that in team submissions. Which could be the team to use a wild card. I don't know what you mean there, Daniel. I'm sorry. How's Gasly doing budget-wise? 3rd best. Literally just behind Hulkenberg and Alonso. Sure. Yes, he will. He will go up 0.6 if he scores 5 points. Can you go through triple McLaren? Yes, I will do that. Joining in at 140 million, what team do you have? Currently, I'm really locked in on doing getting Gasly and Alonso for Colapinto and Lawson, but I haven't decided if I'm doing Ferrari to Mercedes or not. Missed my question. How do I do team submission? You have in the Discord server, bottom of the description. You join the Discord, and then there's a team submission channel there. And so you just post your team as a little screenshot with a little description of what help you wanted with the team in team submissions, and then you have a chance of getting your team rated there. Is Norris necessary to sell? No. Norris is not a necessary sell. Just be aware that you're probably losing 0.4 million. Bortoleto to Gasly or save a transfer? I just got this question. I don't know, if I'm honest. Mehmet, it's close. I think Bortoleto's fine. Like, you probably save a transfer, right? The difference here is not that big. I actually haven't seen the data on points on Gasly, like how good Gasly looks for points, but give me a second, I just got a phone call. I'm just gonna tell him that I'm live. Whoops. I love that there's a few options this week. I agree. There's a lot of options this week. I'm definitely getting this. Okay, let's go through triple McLaren. I don't have any team that is on triple McLaren, so I would have to just construct it, right? Sorry. Final Phase does not let you swap out constructor. Yes, that's correct. What about Sainz? Sainz looks decent for budget, but he hasn't looked that great in the car, and he makes my team very unflexible in terms of how to fit in a potential Kimi Antonelli next week. No, it does not. It does not take a -10. No. If I can't get Ferrari or Merc as second constructor and as no budget, which would be the best choice for second team for budget building? Aston Martin, probably. Yo, guys, just only would you say Merc over Ferrari? That's what we're discussing. Like, I am certain I'm buying Gasly and Alonso. I've made up my mind. I'm buying Gasly and Alonso this week for Colapinto and Lawson. But I don't know if I'm also doing Ferrari to Merc or not. Selling Lawson or Colapinto? Definitely Lawson. Lawson is must sell. If you have Lawson on your team, you have to sell him. It's like prior number 1. If you had wildcard, what would you do instead of Gasly? I might... If I was wildcarding, I might still get Gasly. I think Gasly's that good. It's just like annoying that there's this curse over him that he DNFs every third race. Do I sell Racing Bulls for Aston Martin? Do I just save the transfer so I have 3 next week? I think if you're already on a Racing Bulls team, you can probably keep that, no? V-Carb, yeah, they're probably scoring 14 points. You're probably fine. The Sims say Ferrari's off the pace? Yeah, in FP2, but they look way better in FP3. Keep pestering me, man. Leave me alone. Alright, Loss is only going to drop 0.3, and then can keep at 4.5, but Colapinto might score less points and won't be worth a transfer to get rid of. I see what you mean, but Colapinto can also just score a 9-pointer and increase 0.6, yeah? Stick with Norris build? You can definitely stick with Norris build. I'm sticking with Norris build on a few of my teams. Alright, I'm just gonna do these two transfers. I'm gonna do a Gasly and Alonso because I've decided a transfer is worth roughly 15 points. I would agree, yeah. Haas will be back after this race in many teams. Maybe the drivers, but I don't think the constructor is gonna be there anytime soon. But yeah, I think Ocon and Behrman could definitely be back in some teams after this week. Definitely Behrman, if he scores. If Behrman has a decent haul in Austria, I think Behrman will for sure be on our radars for Silverstone. Would you put Mercedes in if you had Bortoleto instead of Colapinto and keep Bortoleto? Still Hulkenberg and Alonso though. I don't see what Mercedes has to do with that. Do you think Verstappen always has a chance? Verstappen would have a chance in a Sauber. So yes. And that's also why I like this build, like even with Ferrari still in there, because with 4 million, I can literally exactly afford the final fix from Piastri to Verstappen if I want to. Time for tip of the week? No. Tip of the week is in like 35 minutes time, or until we get 5 super chats. Yeah, that makes sense, Andre, though. Marco Andre. Yeah, tip of the week is either when we get 5 super chats or in like 35 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna lock in my 2 first transfers here. Colapinto to Gasly and Lawson to Alonso. Team submissions, we're doing them soon, yes. Alright, let's see. Boom. Confirmed. That's an early confirm, but I'm like guaranteed I was doing these transfers every time. Alright, let's talk quickly before we do team submissions. Let's do... We haven't done the tier list either. Okay, we have to push forward the team submissions today because we have to do a bunch of things before that. We have to talk about triple McLaren, then we're going to do F1 predicts, and then we're going to do the tier list, and then we're doing team submissions. Because we have to do all of those things before we do team submissions, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Okay, so triple McLaren is good, but like it depends on what you're on. Like I'm assuming most people are on this team, which means that like you can't afford all the best cheap assets, right? Like I'm assuming your team looks something like this, right? If you're on triple McLaren, because I'm pretty rich and I can only afford this. So if you're on triple McLaren, it means you probably don't have Fernando Alonso. If you have Fernando Alonso, that's obviously great. But if you don't have Fernando Alonso and you don't have Hulkenberg, what are you even doing with your life? You have to get those in. And you can't afford that while also doing Racing Bulls. So you're probably, if you're on a triple McLaren build, you're probably doing a -10 to do Aston Martin, boom. You do, where is he? This and this, right? Or maybe you keep, I don't know, maybe if you keep Colapinto here, or maybe even keeping Lawson because he's gonna drop to 4.5. But I think this is what you do. You probably have to take a minus 10 point hits if you don't have 3 free transfers, because you'd have to get Alonso and Hulkenberg in. The reason you do a triple McLaren build is 1, because you expect McLaren to double podium and get a lot of points, and 2, because you gain budget with a cheap constructor. But if you don't have the best budget assets in the game, aka Alonso and Hulkenberg, you're actually losing budget to the people just running a regular 2 premium constructor build. Sure, you might gain some points if you get lucky with the correct cheap asset, but most of the time you won't have the correct cheap asset, right? You're going to be on VCarb, but then VCarb scores 15 points and Aston Martin scores 45, right? If you're lucky and you're on that cheap asset that scores like 45 plus points or whatever, once tier list, literally right after this. So because you cannot guarantee that you're going to be on the correct cheap asset, you need to get the budget. So like there's no reason to be on this team if you have bad cheap assets that are not going to increase in price. Like you have to have Nico and Alonso this week. Like you just have to have Nico and Alonso this week. All right, let's do the tier list. And then we can probably do F1 predict after team submissions. Let's see here. Alright, there we go. Every time, man, my layout just bugs out. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Whatever. So this was in Canada. Let me find the Austrian flag. It's somewhere in my folder. I really need to sort through this folder, man. There we go. It's a big flag. Alright, let's jumble everyone up over here. And we're gonna go through this pretty quickly. Not a necessary order from left to right. The important thing is the actual tier they are in. So, let's start with Kimi Antonelli. I think Kimi Antonelli is a fine pick, but since he's probably dropping in price, I can't put him higher than a... He's B or C, probably. He's got to be decent for points whenever you get him, right? So I'm going to put him B tier. Colapinto, B tier. I wouldn't buy him this week. It's fine keeping him. He could increase in price, but he is one I'm selling, right? So I think Colapinto's fine in B. George Russell, I think, is definitely... It's not S tier because he's not must-have, but like he's a really good option and probably the one you want to have on a 2 premium driver build. So I'm going to put him A tier. I think Lando Norris is also A tier. Lando could definitely score really well this week. The downside of him is obviously his price and that he's probably dropping in price. That's why it's not S tier, but like he's in a McLaren. He's definitely going to score a lot of points. Max also A tier. Could definitely be a super big differential option this week. I think he's really good on final fix if he, puts it on pole. Ollie Behrman this week is like C tier. He could be really good next week, but he's not F, right? He's definitely not F tier. Yuki Tsunoda, I think I have to put him B tier just because of the points predictions. The problem is his pricing. He's very difficult, very unflexible to fit into teams. He's unlikely to rise 0.6. He probably increases 0.2 if he has a decent race, but he still needs to have that decent race. So I'm unsure about Yuki Tsunoda. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's good by any means. I'm not buying him personally, though. Isaac Hadjar is going to stay A tier, I think. He's definitely not must-have this week, but since a lot of people already have him, he's not the driver you sell, right? He's a perfectly fine hold. Is he a priority to buy this week? No. I would prioritize buying Hülkenberg and Alonso this week, of course. But, I think everyone already has him at this point. So, Carlos Sainz then. I feel like his performance in practice makes me want to put him B tier. But I think I have to put him A. Like, he's still really good for budget. And, I mean, who knows? He could just do a bunch of overtakes from P14 and stay P14 and still get a decent point score of like 8 or 9, and that's an A tier asset in my opinion. Gasly also A tier. I prefer him slightly to Sainz, but only slightly. He's definitely not S tier. He's probably going to DNF. I think Albon is probably the worst asset to own right now. He's basically like the worst version of Tsunoda, because Tsunoda just looks better for points and they're almost the same price. And also, I mean, Albon is awful for budget. I think Albon is a must-sell this week if you have him. Fernando Alonso is Giga S tier. Must buy this week. Literally must own. There's no reason not to have him unless the only reason you're playing F1 Fantasy is to be differential and have a different team than everyone else. Sure, maybe, but even then, like, you're making a mistake not owning Fernando Alonso, in my opinion. I think Lance Stroll, I mean, Aston Martin looks decent, but, I mean, the budget is not speaking for Stroll. You can't see him here. I think you have to put him in F tier. I think Aston Martin as a package with Alonso or with the constructor, really good this week. Just don't buy Stroll. It's not worth it. He's too expensive also. Gabriel Bortoletto is going to stay A tier. Not an asset you must buy, but, like, he's just nice that he can't drop in price. I feel like every asset that is at 4.5 million will always just remain A tier at the minimum. Nico Hülkenberg, also Giga S tier, must own this week in my opinion. If you don't have Nico Hülkenberg and Alonso, like, what's the point of budget building? You're not budget building if you don't have these two assets in your team. It doesn't matter how many cheap constructors you own. You have to have these two assets. And that's the end-all be-all. Liam Lawson, I think he's a really big asset to sell this week because a lot of people do own him. However, I actually don't think he's all the way down in F because, as someone mentioned in chat, he's probably he's dropping in price, right? But he's only dropping 0.3 million down to 4.5, and then he's staying there. So you're only actually losing 0.3 million on him, and he could definitely pop up with the results. And it's like it's a fine hold, but you don't buy him this week. There's no reason to buy him, but I don't think he's quite F tier as these other two assets are. Ocon is just perfect B tier. A fine asset if you want to play a bit differential, but it's not the first driver I'm putting into my team. I think Piastri is gonna stay S tier until he proves us wrong, I suppose. He's been the consistent 2x option this entire season, and he's gonna continue being that. The Ferrari boys, I have no idea where to put them, if I'm honest. Are they B tier? Are they C tier? I don't know, man. They're just off. They're not even in the tier list. If I'm okay, where actually do you put the Ferrari drivers in a tier list? Is S for essential? Yes. S is for essential. They're on par with Yuki, B, C. Both B, Ferrari tier. They are Ferrari tier. Team submissions after this, Salima. It's slightly late because we had to do the tier list first. Lewis C, Charles B, F for Ferrari. I think this is fine. Yeah, Hamilton C, Leclerc B. I think I agree. Alright, I think that's the tier list for Austria. Sonny Hayes S tier. Dude, imagine Sonny Hayes in F1 Fantasy. The GOAT. Oh, did anyone calculate what Sonny Hayes scored in that final race? He started P20. You couldn't even buy him in F1 Fantasy because he wasn't in qualifying. Imagine how pissed we would be as F1 Fantasy strategists. You pick Luca Cortez, and then they just magically put Sonny Hayes in the car, and then you don't get the points. You get a -20 for Luca Cortez, and Sonny Hayes scored like a 60-pointer. Driver of the day, fastest lap probably, because of course he would have gotten that 20 positions gained and the win. It's like it's like a 65 pointer plus overtakes. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Spoiler alert. You know what happens. Come on. Spoiler alert. I'm so sorry for spoiling the most obvious plot points in the entire movie. Okay, I'm actually sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot that people haven't seen it yet. I apologize. But like it's not that big of a spoiler. All you need to know is that Sonny Hayes is the GOAT. I'm watching on Tuesday. Okay, I'm actually really sorry, guys. I feel really bad now. I forgot everyone hadn't seen it yet. Sims are out. Okay, okay. I'm sorry, Salima. I know we are gonna do team submissions, but we have to look at FP3. FP3 Sims. Alright, so reminder, FP2 Sims said Antonelli, Alonso, Mercedes. Let's see if they prefer Ferrari now. They do. Interesting. They still prefer Tsunoda. They really like Alonso. I mean, Alonso is literally on every buy. Okay, I actually have to take this. I'll be back in 20 seconds. I'm just gonna run an ad. Alright, very sorry about that, but I had to take that call. There we go. Alright, there's the screen. Yeah, sorry, I had to take a phone call, guys. Would you triple McLaren to any of your teams? No. If you're already on it, I think it's fine to stay that way, but I'm not gonna rush to switch that this week. Though it is the 4th option on in the thing. Interestingly enough. Interesting then is that it's keeping Lawson for the points, which is funny. Yeah, it's keeping Lawson in all of them, but I'm not gonna keep Lawson. I need to budget build. We're getting close to 2-2 teams. All right. Aston or Sauber? Aston Martin for sure. Ferrari over Mercedes. Apparently now, Mercedes has definitely dropped up in the simulations a ton. So I think I'm staying Ferrari. I don't think I'm doing the transfer. Yeah, I think I'm staying Ferrari. But it's very, very, very rare to see this many different constructors in this tab. That means it's very, very even. Let's look for budgets. Yeah, I mean, it's not recommending Hulkenberg. Because Hulkenberg doesn't look great for points, but like he looks so good for budget. We need to put in the correct assets here, though. Always have McLaren, and then I'm just gonna put in Ferrari, so we show it with premium assets. Yeah, I mean this is literally the team I have, right? It looks the best for budget, so I suppose I'm a budget shill as always. Hulk or Alonso, both. You ready for a banger weekend? I am ready for a banger weekend. Oh, it's Ty. Hi, Ty. Staying Ferrari means Mercedes 4-5 and Ferrari 6-7, probably. But like even then, it was not that bad. Like Ferrari 6-7 with fastest pit stop is probably scoring equal points to Mercedes. So I don't mind that at all, Nixie. Bortoleto or Colapinto? I think I prefer Bortoleto, but only slightly. I feel like Colapinto is due a crash. Do I sell Sainz for Alonso? You sell anyone for Alonso. You doing a watch along for quali? Yeah, for sure. I'll do it on YouTube today. Usually I do it on Twitch, but my entire OBS and computer crashed like 2 minutes before I went live. So I lost my multi-stream setups, so I couldn't go live on Twitch. So I'm watching quali. Piastri Kimi build. Kimi's dropping in price, but I'm heavily considering it for next week, Namso, which is why I'm doing the transfers I'm doing. It's actually the reason I'm going Gasly instead of something like a Carlos Sainz, right? I prefer Gasly over Sainz Dark Ops. I think it's close, but I slightly prefer Gasly. But again, every time I've said I prefer Gasly for a pick, he DNFs. So just take that with a grain of salt, I suppose. Alright, let's do team submissions now. I think this has cleared up a bit of the Ferrari-Mercedes kerfuffle for me. I still think it's... you know, we don't know how Mercedes will perform in Silverstone. Maybe I go to for Mercedes in Silverstone if I want to do the Kimi Antonelli build. But I think I'm staying Ferrari for this week. Now, let me go on to Discord. I'm trying to open Discord, but it's not letting me. Probably should have checked this earlier. Alright, what do we discuss? Okay, let's do F1 Predict while my Discord tries to load in. Alright, predictions. Predict the podium. I'm going to predict a double McLaren podium with Max Verstappen. A very basic answer, but whatever. Who will take pole position? I'm going to say Max. Max somehow always gets it. Who will qualify the highest? I'm going to put Pierre Gasly. Will Red Bull get 2 cars into Q3? Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't know what that noise just was. I literally... Okay, there we go. Now my Discord is working. Who was at the fastest pit stop time? Maybe I do a little cheeky one and put Kick Sauber. Actually, nah, it's not that much. If Kick Sauber was like 30 points, I'm down. But, you know, Ferrari's just getting it most of the time. Who was at the fastest lap time? This is just a pure guess every single time. I don't know why they have this this in here. I'm going to put Lando, though. Who will finish the race ahead? Hamilton, Antonelli, Alonso, Behrman. Well, it's not going to be Behrman. I'm going to put the two youngest and 2 oldest drivers on the grid. I'm going to put Kimi. Will there be more than one use of the safety car? More than one. They should say more than 1.5 because I don't know if they mean one. I'm going to put no. I'm assuming this means that like it's going to be 2 or more, right? Yeah. Over 1.5. Is this that's what this means? Yeah. How many classified? I think people will be surprised. I think it's going to be... I'm just going to say 1 DNF, man. 1 DNF. Easy. Who will be ahead in the team standings after the race? Racing Bulls, Haas, or tied? Ooh. Yeah, I'm just going to put... Actually, maybe Haas. Maybe... I think Behrman might pop up with some points. Behrman or Ocon are going to pop up with points. Let's put Haas. Get some extra points in there. Finish. Alright. Back to home. That's my... F1 predict submitted. Let's go back. Let's now do team submissions because now I have Discord open. Thank you so much for all the submissions, guys. Alright. So as always, I'm disabling streamer mode so we can see names, so we can see who is doing what here. The Ferrari boys don't belong to the tier list. I agree. They are definitely off the tier list. I mean, they're not options. Like, no one's gonna buy them. So are they F tier? But like, they're also not useless. So it's really difficult to pick. Alright, Abhijit says, thinking about optimal setup. Also, Hulk plus Alonso are covered. Most guaranteed 0.6. But minus 10 is required to do this. I haven't spoken too much about minus 10s, actually. So let's actually do that with this team right here. This team is good. Right? This team is could definitely perform really well. The one downside is that Kimi Antonelli is probably dropping in price. So if you're worried about the minus 10, you could always set it up to do it next week, because Kimi Antonelli is probably going to be cheaper. So that is one thing you can avoid there. But I also think taking minus 10s this week is fine. Like, definitely a minus 10. I unfortunately don't have a Discord command, Doite. It's just at the bottom of the description. I don't have commands set up because I'm a noob. ChrisTube says, guys, I need help. But yeah, okay, with Abhijit's team, I really like this team, but I think I'm probably leaning towards going towards something like this in Silverstone. ChrisTube says, I need help. I have no clue where to even go from here. Right, you have Alonso, so, I mean, you're already in a really good spot. So you need, you have 0 million in the bank is an issue for sure. I think with 3 free transfers here, you really want Hülkenberg, right? I think if we assume the Ferrari and Mercedes are kind of equal this race, and you might want them next race anyway, ChrisTube, I mean, just go to Mercedes. That frees up funds to upgrade Lawson or Colapinto to Hülkenberg, and then you save a transfer. I think that seems like a good switch. I think, like, keeping Ferrari is totally fine. Selling Ferrari is also totally fine, but if selling Ferrari gives you the funds to do a transfer like Lawson to Hülkenberg, I think it's definitely way better to go to Mercedes than to stay at Ferrari. Even though, like, on a plain face value and according to the FP3 simulations, Ferrari are slightly better. If it means you can afford Hülkenberg, then I definitely would go for Mercedes as a pick. Let's see here. We have Silent Bielen. Either I stay with Norris and go Merc to get Hulk, similarly to what I just said with the other team, but with a Norris setup, or swap to Piastri and stick with Ferrari and get Hulk. Everyone above have Piastri, McLaren, Ferrari. Yeah, you might want to be differential there, buddy. I think doing Norris and Mercedes and And Hulkenberg is a really cool move. Though, granted, you're probably going to lose out a bit on budget, but you're pretty decent off on budget anyway. So just know if you're probably losing 0.4 on that, but I think it's totally fine. Like, if you go to this team, everyone's going to have this team. This is going to be the most common team this week, for sure. So you could go for either. I think if you're... Yeah, I think you can go for either this or this. Both of them are fine. It depends on how you want to play the game, I suppose. If you need to catch up to them or not. Yeah, 175 points off lead in Private League. I would probably play differential. Predict a Norris win. Manto says... well, let's see here. Expected. Russ plus McLaren, 0.6. Cole plus Lawson, minus 0.5. Need plus 2 if expected criteria is met. Current budget, 117.1. Option 1. Okay, we're going Silverstone vibes here. Okay. Minus 20 in Silverstone, minus 30 in Silverstone? No. Wildcard already used. Oh yeah, the goal is Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Lawson at Silverstone. Okay, I would never set it up that you have to take a minus 30 in Silverstone. In that case, I would rather... Obviously, like, Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes, really good. Minus 30, crazy. At that point, just do it in Spa. Like, just wait another week to do it. So, therefore, I would not do the minus 30 option. Minus 20 is also on the extreme side, I will say. So, I suppose I just prefer the minus 10. Yeah. You have all the options you need here. You have Alonso, you have Hulkenberg. Yeah, I definitely prefer the minus. If you're, I mean, I do agree. Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes is really good in Silverstone, probably. Fraser, welcome to the stream, man. Sauber or Alpine? Aston Martin is my answer to that question, Ariana. But probably Sauber, if you're actually asking between these two. It's Sauber. Aston over V-Corp for budget? Yes. I think Aston is the best cheap option this week by quite some margin. I need help deciding here, says Falasa. Original team, looking similar to most of us. Option 1 goes to Aston Martin Russell. Option 2 saves 1 transfer. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Sainz this week. I prefer Gasly, but we all know what happens when I prefer Gasly. I think option 1 is super interesting. I think option 1 is really, really good if you have a Limitless remaining and you want to go for Limitless. Yeah, I think you go for either or, realistically. I can't really decide for you there. I think both options are good. You're not really making a mistake in either of these two. Let's see here. Don't really feel good about Gasly. Yeah, that makes sense. Not a lot of people do. Let's see. What do we have here? Kurt squad. I mean, it's similar. You already have Alonso, so that's really big. You already have Hulkenberg, that's really big. I mean, you could literally not make a single move. Colapinto to Gasly is perfectly fine. Save transfers, decent. I wouldn't do the Kimi Antonelli move just yet. Yeah, I think option 1 is perfectly fine. It's a basic option. If you want to be special, you can do Tsunoda or I suppose Kimi Antonelli builds, but I think it's completely fine. Can't decide on who to DRS boost. Okay, this is a really easy one, Stonks. If you have Norris, you 2x him. There's no reason to run triple McLaren and 2x Piastri because everyone 2x's Piastri anyway. If you're already being differential and having Norris in there, just put the 2x on Norris. You lost out on it last week, sure, but you need to try and get those points back against Piastri owners, and Piastri is the most commonly owned 2xer among the top of the field, owned by like at least 70% of people, right? So if you're on triple McLaren, you always 2x Norris because you're differential, and like that is going to allow you to offset the negative score that you're going to get from the worse constructor, right? Everyone else has Mercedes or Ferrari that's going to score like 50 points. If you're lucky on Kick Sauber, you score like 30, right? If you're super lucky like you were like the other day, you get like a 45-pointer. But most often, if they have just a regular good weekend, they get like 25, 30 points on a good weekend. So you're losing like 20 points there to the Mercedes and Ferrari owners, meaning you have to make up those points somewhere else. And one way to do that is if Norris takes a win. Let's see here. We have a very similar... This is literally my exact team, yes. With a lower budget. Yeah, my team with a lower budget. So what do we do instead? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you need Alonso and Hulkenberg. You could just go Alonso, yeah? Yeah, you can just upgrade Alonso and call it a day. 3 free transfers. I suppose if you want to make the Colapinto switch to Bortoleto, you could as well. So I don't mind 1 or 2. 1 or 2 is equal in my eyes. 3 is a bit spaced out. I don't think I would do 3 just because of science, right? And then this team, I prefer 4 to 3. I will say, because it gives you more flexibility on the budget side as well. This gives you enough budget to upgrade Piastri to, what's his face? Max Verstappen on a final fix. So I wouldn't do 3 here. I would do 1, 2, or 4. But it depends on... I do slightly prefer Ferrari to Mercedes after the FP3 simulations. Are there any driver day points to consider? Max Verstappen, perhaps, if he wins. But it feels difficult to call this week. Alright. Initial team with... I can get this team. How do you rate this? I mean, this team is good. This team is really good. I see you have quite a bit of budget in there. No Hadjar is quite cool. I mean, a Hadjar DNF and you're absolutely soaring. Save Limitless for Spa. Yeah, you save it for Spa. You save Limitless. If you have a Limitless, you save it for Spa. You check Spa, meaning you look at the sprint qualifying. And if the sprint qualifying looks good for Limitless, you Limitless in Spa. If it doesn't look good for Limitless, meaning the assets that you want finish 1 through 5, you actually go and Limitless in Hungary. That's the Limitless strategy. And that's like the only Limitless strategy that's remaining in my eyes. Then we have Salima here. Current team, 2 possibility. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like these X's so I can see what is actually changing on an easy switch. Here you're getting rid of Norris, getting Piastri and Alonso back. Totally fine move. I think that's decent. You then have Piastri, Mercedes, keeping Lawson. Not a huge fan of that. That's 11.2 million in the bank. Don't need that much money in the bank. I think it's more important to get Alonso than it is to switch Ferrari and Mercedes. So I don't like possibility 2. I think possibility 3 is perfectly fine, right? I think the most important transfer for you this week is to get Alonso in. And I mean, possibility 4 is also fine if you prefer to do that. Though I think I would prefer to not sell Colapinto to Bortoleto, keep Colapinto and just save a transfer if you only have 2 free transfers available. So I think it depends on how much you want to risk it with Lando Norris and his potential price drop. But I like everything but possibility 2 here because I do think you have to buy Alonso this week, unfortunately. Someone joined my paint skills. Okay, current team 1. You are worse at writing R's than I am, I will say though. Roller transfer Lawson to Alonso. Yeah, we've all discussed that already. I don't need to say much more about that. Ferrari to Mercedes. Again, we've discussed that. I think I prefer to keep Ferrari. You can go to Mercedes if you want to. I think they're very equal this week. And in general, I only prefer Mercedes over Ferrari in an instance where that allows you to do either Alonso or Hülkenberg in with a lower budget score. So I prefer actually to keep Ferrari, but it is very close. You could definitely go for Mercedes if you want to be differential. I still think Ferrari is going to be the most popular pick. All right, I'm not going to do the final 2 just because we've already discussed these teams in great length. Norris or Piastri for double DRS. Norris, I already discussed that. So thank you so much for the team submissions, guys. Just submissions to the members. All right, we'll do that. Boom. Fraser. Final one. We have really want Norris, but perhaps McMur is a better option. All right, so you're currently on triple McLaren with Norris, Piastri, V-Carb. So you have 3 free transfers, yeah? And I mean, when I talked about the triple McLaren team earlier in the stream, this was exactly the move I said. I said sell V-Carb to Aston so you could afford to upgrade Alonso and Hülkenberg. That's literally like what I said on this team. So that's exactly what I was talking about. On this though, ooh, you could go Russell Mercedes. That's interesting. Yeah, that's actually really close. I don't know what to do. I think both of these are really viable. That's the annoying part. I would want to do this on 2 different teams just to see which one performs best. But yeah, the fact that you could afford Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes already is insane. Your budget must be nuts. Yeah, Is your budget 119.5 million? Or am I seeing things? Fraser, how rich are you? What? 120.7? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, just go for this. What? Holy. Yeah, just go for this. Yeah, just go for this. You have the team, bro. And Mercedes look good this week. Yeah, you definitely do this. Holy. That is actually disgusting. Oh my god. Alright, 30 minutes to the deadline, guys. Let's do a tip of the week, okay? It's time. I bought him this week. I'm literally buying Gasly this week. Bro must have avoided every DNF this season or budget builded like crazy with cheap constructors. Would you buy Sainz or Gasly this week? I already made my transfer. I'm getting Gasly. Over Sainz specifically. Those were my two options, and I bought Gasly. Fully aware that every time I've done that, Gasly has DNF'd, but surely it can't happen again. Copium. Alright. Make a prediction, guys. It's becoming boring. I'm so good at this now. Like, look at this. Tell me these letters aren't perfect. The S is kind of messed up, sure. The I is not perfect. Okay, it's not perfect. But, like, look at this compared to how it was last year. Practice makes perfect. Never stop believing in yourself. It's hard right here, though, some major props. I'm getting better, that's what I'm saying. Alright, tip of the week. Alonso plus hold, mastering the handwriting. Tip of the week by Alonso. There you go. Tip of the week is buy the green goats. Just get them. If you don't have them, what are you even doing? Like, you're not even playing the game correctly. It's objectively a mistake to not own them this week. We could also add a little... honorary mention by Gasly. Here at the bottom. Yeah, buy the green goats. Make sure you have Alonso and Hulkenberg. If you don't have them, you're playing the game wrong. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That is just how it do be like. So this is my team. I think I've decided. I'm not selling Ferrari to Mercedes. I've done Colapinto and Lawson to Alonso and Gasly. This puts 4 million into my cost cap, which is exactly enough to final fix Max Verstappen in, if I want to. I'm not getting Mercedes, no. Ferrari looked better in FP3. The FP3 simulations prefer Ferrari. And I do have enough to final fix Max Verstappen if I want to. This also saves a transfer for next week. Meaning that if Mercedes look bad in Silverstone, because of the high-speed corners there, I'm not stuck in a Mercedes build. And I do have the options with 3 transfers next week to do this, right? So my option in Silverstone, 3 free transfers, is to do Ferrari to Mercedes, and then do Hulkenberg and Hadjar, my 2 most expensive cheap drivers, to a Kimi Antonelli likely to rise in price unless he DNFs in this race, plus a 4.5 million option. I'm just short of it now, but I could afford this definitely next week, with Kimi Antonelli dropping in price and Hadjar and Hulkenberg increasing. I could definitely afford either of these 3 options down here. So this is definitely on the cards, or on the table, I suppose, for Silverstone. If Mercedes look bad in Silverstone, I'm still in a Ferrari build. I can just bide my time, do some cheap transfers around, build some budget, and then go again with a premium build in Spa, right? We could also, let's see, let's do this. Boom. What we could also do is, let's go back to the team with 3 free transfers. If we want to do a bit of a differential build in Silverstone, we could do McLaren out for Mercedes instead and run a Ferrari Mercedes build, and thus stretch it all the way to a George Russell build instead of Kimi Antonelli with a 4.5 million option. So those are my options for 3 free transfers in Silverstone. Or again, if Mercedes don't look good, I want to keep McLaren, yada yada yada, I could literally just, you know, say Gasly DNF'd, I could just sell Gasly for whoever, Behrman, whatever looks good next week. Just keep playing the boring game and just switching free assets around. Yep. But should probably drop him. You're so rich though. Like, I would just go for the Piastri Russell build. You've built budget so well this season, Fraser. Now is the time to cash in on it. You're gonna reach, like, I cannot reach that team, and if Russell puts it on the podium, oh, you're big chilling. Like, if I want to afford Piastri plus Russell, I need to downgrade McLaren to Mercedes, and even then I can barely afford it. Colapinto or Bortoleto, I think it's very, very close. I'm slightly edging it to Bortoleto, though, because he's 4.5 million. 2,218 global. Do you think I should risk the build with 3x McLaren and Aston? Sure. That could be a way to climb the ranks. But if you're doing that, you put the 2x on Norris, always. We have done predicts. Yes. Gorka. We have done predicts. Alright, we're on 261 likes on the stream, guys. We could definitely hit 300 before the end of the stream, so make sure you do so. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that as well. We have 21 minutes to the deadline. Hurts as a Piastri fan, but hopes he bottles. That's the way of F1 Fantasy sometimes, my friend. Sainz or Gasly? I prefer Gasly for the flexibility, and Sainz has not looked great so far this weekend. Torn over Gasly versus Bortoleto. I prefer Gasly. Easy. Actually, that's not easy. Bortoleto was decent in practice, I suppose. Still on the fence about Mercedes and Ferrari. I get being that, but if... You gotta, okay, so Mercedes hasn't looked fantastic in the fast corners. Someone pointed it out in chat earlier. It wasn't something I'd thought about before this. Yeah, Gasly curse is super real, by the way. But if the Mercedes fast corners are troubling them, and they come to Silverstone and are slow, and you've already moved to Mercedes, that's rough. And Ferrari did look way better today than they did yesterday. And I don't think a Mercedes are going to do a 1-3 this race, you know? They might beat Ferrari, but they're not going to do it by much. Should I switch Colapinto for Bort or Gasly for a -10? Definitely not. Literally the only thing that would be worth a -10 is getting like Hulkenberg or Alonso in. Where's the hype music? We're just chill music now. Can you not hear it at all? Why is Bortoletto not an option? Bortoletto is an option. For sure. I never said he wasn't. I just think there are other options that are slightly ahead of him. Is a -10 worth for a triple McLaren build? I don't think so, is my answer. But it could be. Alright, any final questions in chat? For points, Bortoletto or Gasly? Really difficult to call. Really, really difficult to call. I think it's... I want to say Gasly. I do. But Bortoletto could surprise. Sainz or Hajar? Hajar. Racing Bulls to Mercedes or Colapinto to Russell? Racing Bulls to Mercedes. Sweden places love from Sweden. What do you think is the best budget choice constructor? Aston Martin. Without a doubt this week, the best budget constructor is Aston Martin. Swap out Ferrari for Merc or keep Ferrari. I'm keeping Ferrari. But it depends. If you need the budget from the switch from Ferrari to Merc to upgrade to like get Hulkenberg or something like that, I prefer Mercedes. But I think Mercedes and Ferrari this week are very close. I don't think it's going to be as big a difference as it was last week. Franco versus Lawson versus Bortoletto. I think I prefer Bortoletto and then Franco and then Lawson. But if it's just for points, I think Lawson is slightly higher up. Sainz or Gasly, I prefer Gasly. Russell over Gasly for a difference of 0.3 budget increase. I mean, if you can afford to switch Gasly to Russell, that means you have a cheap constructor for sure. So in that case, yes, you definitely go to Russell. There's no reason to sit with 15 million in the bank. I've gone with a differential this week. Gone for McLaren and Aston to allow Russell and Piastri. Sure, yeah, this I think this is a good build. Ferrari or Mercedes. Spoken about it a ton. I prefer Ferrari slightly, but I think it's very close, and I think you could literally go for either this week. I prefer Mercedes if you need the extra budget from it to go for something like a Hulkenberg over Lawson or whatever. Ferrari or Red Bull as a constructor? Ferrari for sure. I think Red Bull is at the bottom of the premium constructor pile. Alpine are pretty slow on straights. You see PI qualifying 18 to finish in 15 or? I don't know where I see Pierre actually. Thoughts on Sainz? Good for budget, but he needs to perform, and we've not seen that so far this weekend. No McLaren equals sitta med skägget i brevlådan? Yes. Who do you support as a fan? Where am I for? I have always supported and will always support Ferrari. As a driver, with drivers, I'm not really like... I like most of, like, it's not all of the drivers. So I can, on like a personal level, be happy for an individual driver, even if they're not in the team I root for. But like team-wise, I'm literally never happy for McLaren, even if they want to. Like, even though I might be like, oh, I'm happy for Piastri because he got a win. I'm never happy for McLaren. I'm never happy for Mercedes. I'm never happy for Red Bull. I could even be like, even now, you know, in 2023, I obviously wasn't happy with Max 1 because that's all he did. But like, even now, I'm like, oh, Max 1, that's cool, right? Good for him. But I don't like Red Bull winning. So team-wise, I will only ever root for Ferrari and only ever be happy when Ferrari wins. But on an individual driver level, I kind of like them all, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm getting Gasly, bro. What are you gonna do about it? In which case would you make the final fix between Piastri and Verstappen? If Verstappen is P20 and Piastri is like P4. Or if Verstappen is on pole and Piastri is like P5 or P6. Pick one driver you can see yourself getting along with. Probably Albon. I feel like I can get along with Albon. Gasly above Sainz, right? I think so, yes. But that's my opinion. Perfect final fix would be Piastri going out in Q1. If Piastri goes out in Q1, I'm happy. I want to keep Piastri if he goes out in Q1. Because then he can do a bunch of overtakes and overtake the entire field. What are your thoughts on the following? Piastri 2x with Verstappen, Hadjar, Alonso, Hulk, McLaren, and Kick. Very differential team. I don't hate it. I worded that wrong? Sure. Do you see Yuki making Q3? I predicted him to not make it in F1 Predict, but he could definitely make Q3. Gasly above Bortoletto, right? Yes, I think so. Though I do think Bortoletto could surprise. Do you see Russell qualifying on row 3? I see Russell qualifying on row 1. I could see Russell get a cheeky P2. Alright, I'm going to tweet out because I've set my team. This is going to be my team. I'm saying screw the Gasly curse. I believe in Pierre. I believe in Pierre Gasly. And we'll have to see what happens. Team locked. Ferrari looked better today in FP3 than yesterday, so I'm sticking with the red. Bum. Colapinto out for Gasly. Don't. And then Lawson out for Alonso. Saving one transfer for 0-0. Hashtag F1 Fantasy. Hashtag Austrian GP. Get a little cheeky emoji in there. Boom. Team locked. And posts. Alright, if you are still here, I will take a few more questions in chat. We have 9 minutes until the deadline. But you have to pay a price. If you're on that website, you go and like this. And I will answer your questions in chat. That is all I ask. It is very, very cheap to do so. You don't even have to retweet and put it on your feed. Just click the little hearts. And you will make me eternally grateful. That's the cost. That's my price. Take it or leave it. Boom. Boom. Posting it on Blue Sky as well, if you follow me over there. Alright, let's look at chat. 9 minutes. Tip of the week. Oh yeah, tip of the week is buy the green goats. Buy the green goats. And by that, I obviously mean Alonso and Hulkenberg. You need to have them on your team, or else you are playing the game incorrectly, in my opinion. That's tip of the week. Very, very non-controversial. Bringing Gasly for Colapinto, save an extra transfer. I would save an extra transfer. Gasly more viable than Hadjar for the next few races? Maybe, but like Hadjar could always pop out with like a P6, right? What happened in F2? Wait. Let me look at this crash. Whoa. Jesus Christ. That is a pretty funny crash, actually. I'm happy they're okay, obviously, like, but... Bonk. Whoa. Jesus. Yeah, that's not Limbod's fault. That's a very, very ambitious dive. I can't show the video because I think I get banned, but this image explains it all. That's a, this is not photoshopped, by the way. This is a screenshot. I love this. Is gonna be my new background picture, dude. This image is great. This is actually bonkers. That's so funny. Halo for the win again. Yep. Don't have sound right now. Can someone reply with the rain is said about Ferrari versus Merc, please? Both good. So unhelpful to that guy, by the way, but you know. Swap color paint to Gasly? No. Don't do -10s for cheap assets. The only assets worth doing a -10 for are the green goats. Alright, yeah, I'm staying on YouTube today to watch to do the watch along, because I couldn't go live on Twitch because my computer crashed. So, yeah. Yeah, Jimmy, just in a general, like, I would do a -10 to get Alonso or Hulkenberg in. That's very rare for me to say. I am almost always against -10s for cheap assets. The only times a -10 is worth it is when you're, like, changing the structure of your team by changing who you put the 2x on, your constructors, and then you have to change some of the cheap assets alongside that. But just a straight one-driver swap between cheap assets, almost never worth a -10. What is your team? It is this. This is my team. I've done my transfers. Save transfer or Bortoleto to Gasly? Definitely save transfer. Bortoleto is not a must-sell. I think Bortoleto is actually pretty good this week. I actually considered getting Bortoleto instead of Gasly, I'm gonna be honest, but like Gasly is just more likely for a budget increase. I'm playing the budget game here. Kind of dreading the Aston swap now. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. Alright, have I done transfers on all my teams? I mean, I don't care about this team, so I'm not doing transfers here. Yeah, I'm doing Aston on this team. It's gonna be fine. I did transfers on my other teams, yes. I think so. I'm gonna Alright. I love F1 Fantasy when there's a lot of options for the game. The game was pretty dull 2 years ago, right? But the game, fantastic game last year and this year as well. It's been really good. Even though like there's a clear meta team, obviously, but like, and the meta team has been lucky to not have more DNFs for sure. But there's always been off-meta picks that seem viable and that have not, like, put you too far behind if you've gone for them. So. Yeah, I've done transfers on all my teams. Great. Yeah, I literally have Hulkenberg and Alonso on every team I have that's active, so that's just the way we play it now. Don't trust Gasly? Hey. Don't talk about my goat like that. I picked Bortoletto. Gasly already broke my heart too much. It might work out for you, man. Might work out. Worth going to Norris and Merc versus Piastri and Ferrari to be differential. I wouldn't buy Norris this week if it's not to go for a triple McLaren build. Just because he's probably dropping in price. If you're already on Norris, I think that's totally reasonable. But I don't think this is the week to do that switch, Maverick. The Gasly curse will burn you again? Yeah, I know. But at least, the thing is, I feel like it's a win-win situation because either he gets a 7-pointer and increases 0.6 million and I'm super happy, or he DNFs and I have great content. You know? Win-win. 1 minute till the deadline. We are staying live here to do the watch-along. Normally, the watch-along is always on Twitch, but I couldn't go live there today because my computer crashed and I lost all my settings for my multi-stream. So I couldn't go live on Twitch, but we will make sure to do so in future weekends. So if you haven't followed me over on Twitch, go over and do that. But we will be staying live here to watch the qualifying. Alright, we're gonna turn off the music now because I want to listen to the F1. So you just have to listen to my voice now if you want to stay. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I predicted Max to get pole, so we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do this. Remove all of the extra stuff, you know. Go to F1 dash. And yeah, I'm gonna put it up on 60-second delay, so you'll be able to see the timer up here. And I'm going to watch it on this screen, so I don't get banned. I don't want to get banned. Let's see here. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Log in. F1 TV. Watch live. I think I have. Yeah, everything's muted. All right, I'm gonna put the comments up as well so I can see what you guys are saying, because I do want to watch it with you guys. You know, should use a dev website, way more reliable. I know, but it's whatever. Like the stream, enjoy the race weekend. Yeah, thank you so much. Great stream, guys. By the way, solid numbers as always. I'm really enjoying the deadline streams currently. I'm gonna go get a drink, so don't run anywhere. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Oops. Why did that pop up on that screen? Yeah, it's fine. We're fine. Alright. Kick Sauber P1, P2. Sheesh. I believe. Rain, do you reckon Hadger will crush another Q3? He hasn't seemed super comfortable in the car. So, I don't know. I don't know. But, I mean, he's definitely not going in Q1, that's for sure. He's going to keep his no Q1 exits record. I honestly think Hadger could keep it through the entire year. Also, have you seen Max's helmet? I've not seen Max's helmet. Or I've not paid attention to Max's helmet. Quali running behind you to F2. Yep. Ah. 16:05 start. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Alright, here we go. Sinking. Lewis is gonna go out in Q1. That's my hot take. Whoa. That is a spicy take. Spicy. I think Q1 exit will be Gasly, Colapinto. I think is gonna be Stroll. Lawson and Sainz. Hi Abhijit, how you doing? I talked about your team on the in the stream. I don't know if you were here for it in the team submissions. All right, let me make sure. Let's see. So I sync mine with the F1 dash. So I'm going to be slightly behind you guys so I don't spoil you guys with the reactions. I know I already spoiled the F1 movie today, but it's going to be fine. Just have to cut the gym short to rush back on and make my transfer. Hopefully they do good. What did you end up doing, Yesaurus? Current track temp 48 degrees. Whew. That will melt the Mercedes. Yeah, so my prediction is going to be both the Alpines go out, Lawson, Sainz, and Stroll. That's going to be my 5 to go out in Q1. I think both Saubers are going to make it through. And I think both Haas's are going to make it through. Which is that I think that's a bit of a spicy take, actually, that both Saubers and both Haas's make out of Q1. What's the best quality position for Bortoleto for him to get 5 points or more? Probably P20. Actually, no joke. Sauber top 10? Well, I could see it. Cheeky P9 for Hulkenberg. I rate it. Alright. There we go. I'm synced up. We have cars on track. Here comes Stroll and Alonso to start us off. Q1 at the Austrian Grand Prix. I really want to go to Austria, actually. That's definitely one of my track I really want to go to. I think my goal, because I'm trying to go, I really want to go to a race next year as well. I am going to try to go to Barcelona next week. Or no, not next week, next year, I think. Since it will be the last year for that circuit. So I would like to go there before that goes off the track. Or off the calendar. So I think I'm going to try and get to Barcelona next year. Would be cool. Sauber looks really good the past weekends. Yeah, I know their upgrade that they got in Spain is really working. You're from Austria? Cool. Congratulations on your Eurovision win. I say as a very disgruntled Swede. You deserve to win, though. Wait, we're taking a trip to Barca? Maybe. Went from McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri, Lawson, Hadjar, Hulk, Sainz, and did Lawson to Alonso. Could have just tried using 2 transfer to get rid of Sainz and moved from Ferrari to premium. So yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, you played it safe, and you're gonna have a lot of options in the Mercedes. All right, what was some? So I'm watching the times come in now. I'm not really paying attention to them. I really need to pay more attention to the times in like FP2 and FP3. What were the times then? It's like, is Ocon's time good? Is what I'm asking, right? 105.7. I feel like Ocon's time is pretty decent considering Albon is at 106.0. So he's up almost 3/10. Yeah, Ty, by the way. We've already booked an Airbnb in Barca. Literally the day the calendar dropped, we booked an Airbnb before the prices shot up. We could always like cancel it, right? They haven't dropped the tickets for the actual race yet, but and obviously the flights are going to be expensive. But you know, you could actually just fly to somewhere close by and take the train, I suppose. Yeah. No, because like with Airbnb, before they know like which weekend it is, you can, if it's within a year, a lot of Airbnbs do like no costs if it's 2 weeks before, no costs cancellations, right? So we just straight up booked it Um, it's also an Airbnb that my mom and my sister stayed at when they were in Barca like 3 years ago. So they already like knew the well, not knew, but they were acquainted with the host, right? So yeah, that's smart. Avoid the massive inflation. Yeah, funny enough, I actually learned or started doing that with when I played Pokemon a lot, Pokemon Go. So I competed in Pokemon Go, and the main competition each year was for Pokemon Go Fest, which was in a bunch of cities. It was in Dortmund and then Berlin. I haven't been for a couple years, but when we started hearing rumors about where the Go Fest was going to be, we booked like multiple hotels for multiple weekends all over Europe just to avoid the inflation of prices because it was crazy. And then everything, as soon as they like officially released the date, everything was fully booked within 2 days. And we just canceled in all the other places. So we got like we had like a hotel for every weekend, like 5 weeks in a row, just to like because we didn't know which weekend it was gonna be on. So we literally booked a hotel for like 5 weeks and then just canceled it for every week apart from the 1 week we wanted to be there. I think that's definitely the way to do it with F1 as well. Like literally as soon as the calendar drops, if you're even considering going to a race, you book a hotel. Didn't think Pokemon Go was big enough for hotels to raise their prices. That's crazy. It was massive. Like this is pre-COVID, obviously. It was absolutely massive. Pokemon Go Fest in 2018 and 19 was absolutely nuts. I've never seen anything like it. I was in Dortmund, both 2018 and 19. It's absolutely nuts. Norris on 104.6. 4 tenths above Verstappen is actually kind of disgusting. Sainz slowest so far of those who've done a lap, right? Oh no, it's Gasly actually. Oh, Behrman has also done a lap. But Behrman's it's not a real lap, right? Doesn't really count. Must have made a mistake. I really hope Hamilton can get something today. Dude, like being a Ferrari fan is just so unbelievably deflating. Wish I lived in Europe. You don't have so many race options and it's so cheap to get there. Yeah, it is. It is a cheat code, kind of. There's definitely options. Where are you, Yosaurus? Are you in the US or as a Williams fan, I probably shouldn't have said that. Yep. I think yes. I mean, I said size out in Q1. Yeah, yeah. I think Obita. I think you're correct. I think Science is looking like he's going to be out in Q1. Could be good for overtakes tomorrow, I suppose. Piastri had his lap time deleted, yeah? Imagine Piastri out in Q1, dude. Imagine the scenes. Oh, Australia and Adelaide, where the GP used to be before Melbourne started from us. That's rough, yeah. I was in Melbourne this year, though. It was really nice. I like Albert Park. I'm sorry to say it. I wonder, like, outside of Africa, what would be, like, the furthest away from a race that's, like, actually populated? I'm not talking about, like, Alaska or whatever. Like, an actually populous place. What's the furthest away from a race? Would it be like in India, maybe? Like, how close is India to the Middle East, or would it be like on the West Australia. Yeah, maybe it will be West Australia. I really hope Africa gets a race. Yeah, I mean obviously North Russia, but I said populous place. I'm not talking about like Alaska or Siberia or whatever. Like a place where people actually live, you know? Yeah, it's like Perth or yeah, I suppose South America, yeah, like South Argentina, for sure. Yeah, West Australia, like it's probably like what was that, like a 4 or 5 hour flight to Melbourne, like a 6 7 hour flight to like Bahrain or Singapore. So it's probably Western Australia or South Argentina. There's a long way up to Brazil. Yeah, Bartoletta does seem like he's doing well. What's optimal final fix usage from Piastri, for example? I would say if he's like P4 or P5, P6 maybe, P7, yeah, like P4 to P7 or P8. Anything lower and like I think he's good for overtakes, right? So at that point he goes from being a bad option to a slightly better option because he can overtake some back markers or midfielders, I suppose. Antarctica GP when? That's gonna be in 2246 when the ice is completely gone. Yeah, outrageous lap from Bortoletta, to be fair. Albon fastest in Sector 2. That looked like he was over the line, no? It was close. Sainz only 14th. Albon, P5. Do they actually have their own football league? That's really funny. What, like the scientists on the research station? Oh, yeah, big snap from Sainz. God Alonso hoping he beaches in the gravel. Yup. Here they come, the train. Sainz is definitely going to be out, yeah? Both horses look slow. Ocon not improving. probably gonna be out, which means that my prediction is in the mud. Green, faster than Signs, but there's no way there's enough. Like, everyone is gonna improve. Wow! Why is Lawson P3? Huh? Alright, Oculus is definitely out. If Lawson can improve to P3, then Oculus is definitely out in the 13th. Huh? I like we just watched the Alonso, or the Ocon ish. Alonso. Leclerc goes 7th. Beat the Sauber. Let's go. What's crazy that New Zealand is actually closer to GP than Perth is? Yeah. That does make sense. Stroll's 12th. Alonso P8. Tsunoda 17th, Russell 15th. It's getting dicey. Russell. First corner. Oh, yeah, Tsunoda's out. He doesn't have a lap. Tsunoda's actually just straight up out. Ocon is out. Colapinto 12th. That's definitely through. Is Hadjar on the lap? He is, yeah. Here comes Hadjar. 5th. Jeez. V-Carb. Russell. Uh-oh. Antonelli. Here comes Sainz on another lap, but he's not improving. Russell! Only 11th, but it's definitely through. Sainz is not improving either. Hulkenberg's lost? Let's go. Bro, Yuki indeed, man. 19th. Stroll, Ocon, Tsunoda, Sainz, Hulkenberg. I got one right in my prediction, and it was my spicy prediction of... No, okay, I got 2 right. I got Stroll and Sainz. Actually, I got 2 right. Dude, Lawson in P3, Yuki Tsunoda in P18. That is... My display's broken? No, it's just syncing because it's over. Wait, is it actually open? No, yeah, it's fine. It's supposed to look like this. Maybe not. Average Red Bull second seat experience? Yup. Yeah, leaderboard, it's fine. It's fine. It's up. I don't know. It just couldn't find an improvement. I don't know what happened there. But I mean, Hulkenberg in 20th is good for fantasy, right? Yeah, Hulkenberg in 20th is good for fantasy. He can't drop in position. Yeah, like in general, Eosaurus is like I would almost always rather have my driver P20 than P12. Yeah, I guess for Aston Martin constructor, you really wanted Stroll to make it through Q1, yeah? That's some points you lose for sure. Yeah, watch Bortoletto. Watch Lawson, man. P3. Hulk just wanted a challenge. He loves going through the pack on race day. True. Feeling I had goat P9. So am I. What just happened? Red Bull second seat happened. Oh, Jesus Christ. Science is not a smooth operator at the moment, no. He's just not getting to grips with the car. Yeah, Gasly made it. Gasly's P4 actually. I didn't even notice that. Would love a Gasly P4. I honestly don't see Sainz getting much more than P16 on race day. Perhaps not, no. Especially if he's complaining this much about the car, he could start pit lane. As a Williams fan, I oscillate between we're so back and we're so over. Yup. Me with Ferrari. Literally every week. No, yeah, as it looking, it's looking right now that Ferrari is not going to win a race this season. They won the sprint in China, but like won't win an actual race. As a Red Bull fan, I love the consistency. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. But like, what does Red Bull do? Because it's not like what are they gonna kick Yuki out? Like, if they demote Yuki back to V-Carb and put Lawson back up, then Lawson's gonna be the one in P18 and Yuki's gonna be the one in P3. Like, oh no, for some reason I nuked my team and went for Piastri, Russell, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, and Sainz with McLaren and Aston Martin. How screwed am I? You're fine. You're gonna lose some points because Stroll couldn't get out of Q1, but I mean Sainz could get some points from P19. Red Bull car is just cooked. Max may leave in 26-27 too. It's kind of over. Yeah. People are talking. It seems crazy to me that like Mercedes are getting rid of George Russell, but like they're not gonna go for Max Verstappen, and there's no way they get rid of Kimi. Like, it's insane that Russell might be out of the Mercedes next year. Because that's so undeserved. But that's the thing, though, Obito. What are they gonna drop Kimmy? They're not gonna drop Kimmy. If they drop Kimmy, like that's a generational up and coming talent. Like, well, they're trying to loan Kimmy out for 2 years, like that. No, like whoever signs him is gonna want to sign him on a permanent. Kimmy to Williams? To Williams? What? They're gonna get rid of Sainz after 1 year, break his contract, and pay Multum to get him out of it? No, like Albon and Sainz are locked in Williams for next year, in my opinion. Yeah, Russell to where? Do they just go Russell to Red Bull? Max will go to Aston Martin? I don't... For who, though? Does Alonso retire? Does Stroll retire? Where does Russell go? There's no way Russell is out of his seat next year. George is staying with Merck? But if they sign Verstappen, then like Russell goes to Alpine. I mean, everyone is going to sign a 5-year deal with Alpine. Literally everyone. That's just how Briatore runs that team. And it's like no one will want to drive the Red Bull. Like, who would ever want to go to the Red Bull, seeing how both Tsunoda and Lawson are performing? Well, like the only team locks right now are McLaren and Ferrari. Yeah, those two teams are not changing. But I think you could almost put Williams in that category as well. Colapinto to Red Bull is wild. I don't know. Like who actually like who do you even put in that team? Put Max in the V carb with Hadron and call it, yeah. But that's the thing, like, if Max leaves Red Bull to go to, like, a Mercedes or an Aston Martin, what do Red Bull do? Like, you're actually just the slowest team on the grid. Bottas is going to Cadillac. I'm almost, like, the video he posted is way too cheeky to not be in contention. Russell and Cadillac with Perez. I think Bottas is going to Cadillac. The thing is with Cadillac, if they are probably watching this, because if Mercedes sign Max, Cadillac will want to get in on getting Russell for sure. I think Bottas was just trolling and wants to see, but I don't think he has it. He's definitely been in talks with them though. Well, literally everyone, myself included, has to give Checo an apology. Bottas is the coolest driver on the grid, and he's not even on the grid. No matter what happens, Russell will have a cockpit. I agree. There's no way Russell's out of the sport. I never blame Checo, only Red Bull. I think that's easy to say now, but like a year and a half ago, when Max was winning every race, it's better than, You mean back then? Well, you were a visionary, clearly. I've always believed, in my opinion, that in your opinion, that the car is built around max specs and is now catching up. Oh, like, don't get me wrong. I thought that was the case as well, but I didn't think it was this bad. You know. Dude, what is Lawson? What is going on? I'm losing my mind. If Lawson takes pole, he's not taking pole. Red Bull is the Man United of F1. No, Ferrari is definitely the Man United of F1. Yeah, everyone just transferred out Lawson. Verstappen faster than Lawson. Order in the world restored. We will not be swallowed by a black hole today. Piastri, purple sector 1. Once again, order has been restored. Piastri is definitely going fastest here. Russell is slower than Lawson. Uh-oh. Piastri half a second faster than Max. Oh no. Here comes Lando. Oof. Oh, I'm actually about to fall asleep. I'm so tired. Oh, I've been working 6 a.m. mornings all week, including today. Whew, gotta stay up. Whoa. Max is furious, I can imagine. Dude, that gap to the McLarens is actually just not fun on this short of a track. Low speed, medium speed, high speed. Need a Gasly clutch. I would love a Gasly Q3 here. That would go mega hard. Oops. You're not supposed to drive there, Lewis. You're so sad right now? What's happened, Obi-Wan? You forgot to do your transfers? Well... Oh, red flag! What's happened? Oh, it is fire. Grass is on fire. And the red flag's coming out. The grass is on fire. Boom. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. But Obi-Wan, you're gonna be fine because Lawson is P6 and you probably would have sold Lawson, so this is probably working out for you. Fantasy is ruining my enjoyment of F1, then you shouldn't play it. Yeah, you still have Lawson? See, he's doing well. Would have swapped him out for Alonso. Yeah, that is a rough one. I will give you that. That is that is rough. But if Lawson gets like a P6 finish, you're laughing to the bank. Well, not the bank, but, you know, the points. Whatever. Is Ferrari looking better than Mercedes? Yes, they are. Ferrari looked way better in FP3 today than they did yesterday. I don't know what they fixed, but they looked way better today, and FP3 Sims preferred Ferrari, so most people stayed with Ferrari, I think. Never mind on cooking law. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't do the transfer of Ferrari to Mercedes. I kept it, so I did Lawson to Alonso and Colapinto to Gasly. So this is my team. Oops. The grass is on fire, and the red flag's coming out. The grass is on fire. Boom. No 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 no. Yeah, ship sailed. Agree. Bortolet instead of Colapinto, but practically the same. I don't have Colapinto. I mean, instead of Gasly, but yeah. I mean, Bortoleto could definitely outperform Gasly. Bortoleto's looked really good this weekend. You could actually be cooking. I mean, you're going to lose a bit of budget because you don't have Alonso, but, I mean, points-wise, you could actually just straight up be cooking. The grass is on fire. And the red flag's coming out, the grass is on fire. And the red flag's coming out, the grass is on fire. 42% of global have Merc. Ooh, spicy. 50% Ferrari. That is spicy, spicy, spicy. It's going to be a big weekend then. Whoever scores the highest. I did say it was going to be close. Colapinto sounds like an expensive drink. It does. Also, while the red flag is here, did I tell you you got sacked GP to do a shoey? Oh no! Why? What did you tell him to do? Why did he do a shoey? How did you get him to do that? Did you make a bet against him and he lost? That's really funny though. Do you have a clip of that? I want to see that. This happened in F2, by the way. I love this. I'm in love with this image. Norris is sleeping in the car. I wouldn't sleep in the car. I'm so unbelievably tired. Yeah, look, it is. They'll give you the link in the timestamp. I think it might not work. I don't think you can. What time is it for you? It's 4:45 p.m. But I've gone up at 6 a.m. this entire week to work, and I did do that today as well. And I was up late yesterday because it was Friday. Why does Mercedes suck on hot tracks? Literally no one knows. It's just the way of life. But yeah, Obi-Wan, I don't think you can post links in chat because I have it disabled. So tweet it at me if you're on Twitter. Or you're not going to bed early tonight? No, I'm not. I'm going to take an hour nap and then I'm D&D tonight. Probably play. We can play some. Am I tripping? This is an actual screenshot of what happened in F2. This is not edited. I want you to know that, Abhijit. This actually happened in F2 today. It's actually my favorite image of the year so far. I should have just. I love this image so much. It's so good. Is Yuki cooked? No, the second Red Bull seat is cooked. I think it's just Red Bull in general that's cooked because Max Verstappen's going to leave that team and they're actually going to be the P10. Yeah, the drivers are fine. The drivers are fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here laughing about it. So I can't show it, but basically what happened is that this guy that's currently in the upside down, in the wrong dimension, he charged up the inside of Lindblad, who's right here, or Lindblad, who's right here. Definitely this guy's fault, by the way. Definitely not Arvid's fault. So he drove up there. Lindblad didn't see him because, like, why would anyone make a move on the inside there? And basically he just drove into the tire of Lindblad, and Lindblad just literally sent this guy like sideways flying. So he did like a sideways flip over is it Crawford, I think. I'm not a Max fan, but I think he would have consistent podiums in Williams and Aston or V-Carb. I think you're probably right. Almost 1 a.m. in Australia, bruh. Every quali at midnight always gets delayed so long, I swear. Yup. We're back. Oh, we're still in Q2, bro. Oh, it's not even Q1. I want to go to bed. Yeah, but Ty, if you're on tonight, in a bit, I think I need to take an hour nap, or I'm not gonna be awake for D&D. But I think I'll take an hour nap and then play some Ren Plat before D&D. Poke you in an hour. Well, let me sleep for an hour, right? give me like an hour and 30 minutes from now, depending on if the grass catches on fire again. The grass is on fire. And the red flags coming out, the grass is on fire. And the red flags coming out, the grass is on fire. And the red flags coming out, the grass is on fire. Boom. Na 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 da 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 da. No Twitch F1 Manager stream. I've been way too busy. I'm hoping to resume it now in July, but like these past 2 weeks I've been giga busy. One lap match for everyone here. Yep. But Ali Jafar, it will definitely be back. It's just I couldn't do it last week because it was Swedish Midsummer, so I was away, and then this week I've been swamped with work. So I will. Yeah, I'll try and get it back up next week, I think. And the red flag's coming out, yeah. Another option for Max is to take a year off and race other series and see as the best car for 2027 and join them. Yeah, I don't think he's leaving. But, I mean, you're not wrong. Feel free to watch it in your own time. Honestly, can't believe how I did it. Did you tweet it at me, or is it in the Discord? I can't see if you post links. But I will watch it for sure. Do do do. Ba da ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba ba. Da 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 da. He folded under no pressure. I mean, everything for content, I suppose. I will only do a shoey if I win the Content Creator League. If I win the Content Creator League, I'll do a shoey. But other than that, I'm not doing it. I don't think I'm doing that great in it. P9. Okay, that's not great. Bro, I'm up against F1 Fantasy Tools. How am I supposed to win that? Right, you should do a shoey next Australian GP. Only if I'm there, and I don't think I'm going to Australia anytime soon. I would not. I don't have the money to go there again. I do want to go there again, but it's gonna be a couple years before I have the money for that. Bros versing The Sims. Yep. And like, what is this? 2405? Like, what do you mean 2405? Like, what actually do you mean 2405? That is disgusting. What's the overall league? Well, hold on. Stop. We're watching the shootout. Okay, here we go. Surely Thomas used every chip in the book already? Maybe, I don't know. I haven't paid attention. Bortoletto P3! The GOAT. I don't even know him. Insane lap from Bortoletto. Here we go. Antonelli. Starting his lap. Russell. Verstappen. P3. Faster than Bortoletto by 100 of a second. Solid. Here comes... Let's see. Leclerc starting a lap. Hamilton starting a lap. Piastri. Improves. Not above Norris, though. Gasly is... out? Question mark? Or is he starting a lap now? No, he's starting a lap now. Okay. Antonelli. P8. That is not great. Russell. P5 should be fine. Behind Bortoletto, though. Insane. Gasly. Come on. Hadjar's out. No Q3 for Goatjar. Behrman's out. That's expected. Come on, Gasly. Leclerc P3. Okay. I see you, Leclerc. I mean, it's going to be a McLaren 1-2, guaranteed, but... Gasly. Come on. Ooh, P6. Equal time to Bortoletto, by the way. You love to see it. Colapinto. Nope. P13. Albon, though. Albon can bump Antonelli here. Albon can bump Antonelli. Oh. Alonso, Albon, Hadjar, Colapinto, Behrman. Alonso P11 is... that is funny. Lawson P9. Lawson, Bortoletto, Gasly, the three non-top 4 teams to make it through. That is actually a very, very unusual 3. Usually you would see like Alonso, Albon, Hadjar, a Haas. Okay, why is Bortoletto here, bro? Seriously? I have no idea. I thought he would be good this week, but like... didn't think it was going to be that good. It was between Gasly or Bortoletto. I was never not getting Alonso, right? So... at least they're on the same time. Well, it's a super clear McLaren 1-2. Impeding? Oh. Wake up. I'm awake. What's the best Swedish beer? I don't know. I don't know what the best Swedish beer is. I was dreaming. Yeah, I was just mesmerized by F1 TV. I am losing my mind slightly. I will say that. Oh. You were dreaming. Yeah, I was completely spaced out. I have no idea what's up or down. You should drink Surströmming. Yep, classic. No stinky fish allowed. But who doesn't love stinky fish? If the fish isn't stinky, then how do you know, you won't taste anything? Alright. Did you get my timestamp mention for the live stream minutes? I got the timestamp, but I don't know what the live stream was. But I assume it was during his deadline stream, yeah? Let me find it. It's something to do so I don't fall asleep. Sack. GP. Was it his deadline stream? Wait, which stream was it? Where was he live? Is it not up on his channel? It wasn't deadline. Saying McLaren 5,000 times live stream. Lol. Why did he do Monaco? Oh, Monaco forfeit. Oh. Alright. What was the timestamp? Towards the end. Actually, he's listening to James Blunt. I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna get demonetized. What am I doing? I want to watch this, but I also don't want to... I also don't want to get demonetized. Oh, you can see that's a dirty ass shoe as well. You can tell that shoe's been worn, yeah. Oh, that's a disgusting shoe. He keeps going. Ah, legend. Absolute legend. Don't worry, we had no audio. Oh yeah, you had no audio. Okay, yeah, okay, you're fine. Yeah. Proudest moment in F1 world. Alright, let's go back to watching some race cars. Q1. I will do that if I win the Content Creator League. And I'm saying that because I know I won't win that. So I would need some insane luck to get that. Yeah, that's good. That's good content, to be fair. It is good content. Yeah, I forgot that you guys can't hear the sound because I mute everything on my desktop when I'm watching so I don't get F1 slammed. So I just forgot about that because, you know. Oh. Awkward release there from Mercedes. Yeah, Shui is kind of like fine wine, you know? You gotta do it in the right moment. You can't just do one all the time because then it's not special. You gotta like build it up as a big thing. I guess saying McLaren 5,000 times is one of those times, I suppose. Fine wine. I'm never drinking Swedish wine. Oh. Yeah, while he's playing the Australian anthem, that's pretty good. I mean, there is Swedish wine, but it's not fantastic. Yeah, bad turn one, but you know how Piastri is. He's gonna be just randomly P1 for no reason for the final run. All right. I don't have Bortoleto, and a lot of people have Bortoleto, so I would like Bortoleto to be P10, please, but that's probably not happening. I would love, every time Gasly's gone into a Q3, he's been like P10, so I would love for him to break that and actually just like slam at P4. That'd be fantastic. I need Gasly to cook here. I feel like Gasly's like my one differential pick, and that scares me. Antonelli, 105.6. Yeah. Gasly slower than Antonelli. Ugh. Don't need that. 10 what? 104.5. Jesus. Norris fastest by 0.3. That could be enough. Max. Yeah, Max is not reaching the McLarens. Probably P3 though. Yoink. Yep. Gasly, we need a better lap from you. We need you to push into the 104s, I believe. Leclerc! Ooh! Leclerc! Hello! Hello! Norris's favorite track, yep. Russell's gonna be P4 or P5? Hamilton P4! Whoa. Here comes the Ferrari. Yeah, Ferraris are clearly faster than the Mercedes. Verstappen only 6th. Lawson is Lawson on a lap? No, he goes in. He must have cancelled it. It must have been no good. Gasly being 3/10 behind Bortoleto is no fun. I need Gasly to be 3/10 ahead of Bortoleto. The team radio messages to Norris are always the weirdest, man. Unsafe release. Whoops. Alright, one more run for each. Lawson, no time. Probably the P10 here. Would love Gasly to pass Bortoleto and maybe Antonelli as well. For like a P7 finish. That is probably my dream here. And then obviously I don't have Norris, I have Piastri, so I would prefer Piastri to steal this, but Norris is looking really good, I must say. Just curious, how many points does Lawson need for a 0.6 million? 29. Yeah, I'm cooked on budget. Yep. Yeah, you are. Well, the thing is, Lawson will only drop 0.3 million because he'll go down to 4.5. So you probably just hold Lawson forever now. Kind of similar to Bortoleto earlier in the season, yeah. Because like Lawson's gonna go down to 4.5 million and then be 4.5 million for another race, and then he's gonna increase after that. So you might as well just hold him through this now. If he gets like a 10-pointer, you're probably okay with that, right? Look at all those clean tires rolling out. Here we go. Gasly's first in line. Alright, I want to see Gasly across the line, P5, Verstappen in the wall, red flag, Gasly clutches out. Session over. Hamilton? Question mark? Hold on, I'm the GOAT without even realizing. What did you do? Manifesting Gasly P10. Gasly's so inspirational. Manifesting Gasly P4. Manifesting Gasly P4 indeed. Dude, Gasly's gonna make it round though. He's gonna have bloody traffic. Why did Alpine send him out so early? Manifesting Lawson P4? That would be big brain. Gasly's actually gonna have traffic here. Alpine are idiots. Oh, I'm so upset. Yeah, maybe not actually. Gasly's clear here. Yeah. Watching Gasly here. Green first sector, that's good. Good exit. Continues to improve. Go on. Go on, son! Come on! Improvements from Gasly, improvements. A bit of traffic for Piastri there. It's probably fine. Another green sector for Gasly. Come on. Give it to me. Here he comes. Oh. Oh. No, Gasly. Oh. Gasly, please, bro. I don't know if you guys saw what just happened there, but oh, there's no way that just happened. That screwed Verstappen over as well. What is that time from Norris, by the way? Whoa. Gasly's P10, you're so bad! Oh. Crofty has no idea what he's waffling about. He didn't even see the guy. He's like, oh, maybe Piastri was the cause of the yellow flag. No, it was... Oh no, here comes Bortoletta to screw me over. Oh, I said, okay. 8, it's whatever. I mean, Lawson at P6 is insane. But I cannot believe... Gasly was on a good lap too, and he just boomed it. Are they showing the Gasly here? Yeah, okay. Yep. And whoop. That's a solid spin. Yoink. That's a lot of turns. Yeah, that is an insane lap. Yeah, I think Max got boomed by the yellow flag, yeah. Alright. Well, that is a insane pole position from Norris. Gasly boomed me, but I mean, he got to Q3, so I can't complain. Bortoletto the GOAT. Lawson, P6. Yuki out in Q1. A lot of things happened. I nearly fell asleep. Alright, I'm going to bed. Thank you so much for the stream, guys. I'll see you on a different one. Peace.